Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to another review of MoonKnight. Which, by the way, I apologize for the delay. I really had a lot of things going on, and but I'm here. If you post episode 4 and 5 review, before at least I'm gonna post this before the episode comes out. On Wednesday, which is just today, Monday. I don't know. It was either today or tomorrow. Wow, like I have to give credit to the writers for this one, for MoonKnight, you know, especially for episode 5, which we'll get to our that, but for let's just images in episode 4. As we and also I think it's phase 4 has really been what's the word? Very emotional, you know. I think in case the pic I'll show you which was there, and it's such a sad thing to see. You know, it was really a very emotional roller coaster. I'm like, wow, you know. But I must say, they have done themselves, and it was like phase 4 right now. So, episode 4. As far as we're saying, you know, Kanju is trapped in, or is trapped amongst gods. Now, the only question is that which other god is there trapped? Wondering, okay, is there, like, who else is there amongst gods that we may, or, you know, in the comments. I know. Like I said, I haven't really taken depth, everything much in MoonKnight, you know, but I think it might come with, you know, a different direction, you know. So, as we're going through, you notice that Kadri is now trapped, which is Mark doesn't have his powers, but of course, Mark and Steve are still the same, you know. And as we're going through, we're seeing them trying to find Johnny, going to the tomb which they found, and along the way, Steve tells on what the deal they made with Kanju and why he's so obsessed with trying to not knowing what's going on. And like, oh, okay, that's, you know. And then she's like, well, that's my decision. Of course, that's emotional and whatnot. The point that the two had arguments saying that also like, you know, like that's it, and it builds up the intention, you know, like, okay, Mark has been hiding something, or as audience have been wondering, like, what is Mark hiding? What is he trying to hide? Like, what happened between him before and what, you know, transpired for him to hide? But of course, Kanju also has a potential avatar which he didn't want that. As we're going through, and then later, and Steve of course has that intimate moment scene when he kissed her, and then of course, you know, like Mark tries to hit him, or the more pressure said, why hitting yourself, which is fine. I don't know, I find it fine. And as we're going through, we see that they find Ahmed's tomb, which is fine, but also the one before we enter the tomb, you notice a blood stain, and it makes you wonder, what is? Did they find something? Did they sacrifice something? Like, what's going on? I don't know. Anyway, then as we're going through, we find that that of course, you know, Steve being a geek and all, he not with the temples, also the path, and how he saw that part. I think that was cool. With the eye of the horse. Correct me if I'm mistaken. And then he said this is redesign the whole thing, and like, oh, this is cool, you know. Like I said, I may be history, but I'm not that deep into history. Like, that's just way deep, I know. And of course, find the path, and then find the way. Okay, it's good. And then so those fresh blood stains, like, oh, okay. And you see someone being killed. Yeah, okay, someone being killed. Like, cool. And then you, of course, you know, let's find different. They managed to find it different, but in the process, something came out. I know for you guys, I felt it was a bit creepy, but I like the level of that weird fireplace. Yeah, right. Yeah, fireplace where they go like the thing just comes and like you know. Although I didn't really much of the face because the whole dark whatnot, but the picture, I mean the face, which I don't know if I'll manage to find the picture, but it was like, what the hell is that, and of course I managed to run and whatnot, and then of course I was that creepy moment, that fear, that thing when it's like that horror vibe for all those horror fans, and you're like, oh, what the hell just happened, but I liked it because it felt like for those who are a fan of classic, like Royal Indiana Jones, or more of an adventure movie. This way it's about artifacts, you see, you face creatures or whatever. I know you tell me, but I really enjoyed that episode, So, and that's what made me viable. And then of course when Arthur saw her and said, "Oh, did he tell you what happened? Did he tell you he was there when his father, your father was killed and all?" And then putting an implant in her head, another doubt, said, "Did you know this? Did you know that?" Of course, he put a doubt in her head, but of course, kept questioning because he's a killer now. So, okay, no surprise. Then while the separatists after the creature was chasing them, you discover that they found a tool, right? And of course, they both had a conversation. "Oh, you kissed my wife." I know. He told them, it's. Yeah, of course, the usual argument which they had in like, okay, sure, whatever. And he finds, I don't know what you guys call it, but I'll go with the coffin. I don't know what you call it. I'll call it coffin. And in that coffin, he recognized the language, which was like, okay, it's not even Egyptian. So, what does that mean? It means it's someone else or a two groups have just found. Hence, Alexander the Great, which I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Reason why I find it interesting because I read an article day by Screen Rant, and they got me something curious, not in the history, but in the comics. Why Alexander the Great says, he declared himself that he was so overwhelming to say, "I'm the son of Zeus," as he proclaimed. Funny thing, yeah, they did announce that Zeus will be coming, and also with the teaser which I gave a few videos ago, it really shows that okay, Zeus is coming. So I think I'll just say let's keep that in mind. New Testament, but it has a point. And then I like the what's rhythm? Sorry, the riddle. Yeah, the riddle. Now, as he was the first speaker, and yet the speaker was in the mouth, which was fun. Okay, honestly, I was expecting something like that, let's see. But in any case, he was like, okay, he found the piece, and she was already trapped already. But another question is that why did they trap her in there? Because of course I remember, I think it was 2 or 3. What's that good? One of the avatars said that even that the gods could not remember except for one guy to spa something. Yeah. Like I said, some names are really, especially for the I have to really compare this. But as we go through, we discover that that they decided that they didn't decide to put her there. That's the reason. Was that's what we obsession of thing. But and then as we say find it, and then of course later comes in saying, of course you can see like that the doubt is really implied and saying questioning and saying, what happened to the human father, or what happened, and explain that he was ready to, like he said, and then the process to finally say what you know witnesses, and hence of course the whole betrayal, he starts taking away, but in the process he says that he also should be just dead. Of course we all want to, okay, so we're dead, okay, how of course we just say no, this is safe through, and of course she felt that betray, whatnot until when he heard Arthur was coming, of course she hide, and of course Arthur was going to know, come on, let's escape now, But I like Arthur. He's a chilled villain, which I think I haven't seen in a while in the MCU. I think there are a few chilled villains, if you don't mean chilled, but more like how, for those who are Daredevil fans, especially with the Kingpin, how relaxed, he's aggressive, but his style. But I like this. I think this is a good story. And then in the process, of course, he fought him up, and then he shot him. And that moment, you go like, what is so he's dead like that, and then we noticed that like his body was there, but his mind came out, like his spirit went to meet him. And then of course his weight was like so few minutes before the episode. Okay, let's see. And then he finds himself in asylum. I'll say it's asylum. And then the process of not in asylum, he's like someone's watching a movie, adventures are going on, which I was like, okay, what's going on? And then when I saw Steve, I was like, okay, something is up about that. And like, oh, okay, let's just brush it off. Let's just see. And then as you're watching, you get a chance to discover that either he lost his mind or he's in another, another place. Hence, seeing all the matching stuff, like the artifacts, the what seen later in the process, seeing those guys, the two cops who died. I think one other guy who died. I remember was killed. Those creatures. Yeah, like what is really going on? And in the process, he goes like, okay, this is something wrong. He managed to escape from Arthur, or the show Doctor, who's so calm, and it makes you wonder. Of course, he managed to escape, but the process he runs, he finds himself in a room and sees like what's the mummy coffin, and he sees Steve, and like, how's that possible? But one interesting part that made me interested was that the other one coffin, someone also tried to patch out. Could it be the other character who both Steve and Mark never know about, the one who killed another personality? Curious, but yeah, but it is a potential. And then of course, trying to escape, the hippo comes, and of course everyone screaming, and okay, so it's weird, fun. I think episode 5, which we always see a glimpse of someone shouting at 24th, and then it shows him screaming and whatnot, and then it shows I really forgot what I showed, but it and then when you find his bucket, he's screaming, and then it shows him back at the office. Yeah, no, but this hippo is talking about and whatnot. It felt like as if it's like as if something was trying to build up something, and like, okay, you know what to do. And as you're watching through, the hippo is actually a guide for those who lost the soul. I read from at the 20. No, I'm not offended. I don't offend for sake of the difference. She said, and she said that you're actually dead, which means they are dead, but in a plane, or maybe like not the afterlife or a afterlife, or more like, okay, I'll say limbo. Let's call it limbo. That you guys are souls. What's Mark thinks is crazy because like, oh, sure, I'm crazy, I know, and I know, and you're crazy, and then of course when you open and then you see that whole like underworld, yeah, I'll say underworld. Wow, that was cool, and I thought it was really cool. I really respect that. And one thing I found interesting, which by the way, was that the time when she gave reference that about the Wakanda ancestral planes, which of course, if you remember in Black Panther 1, the time T'Challa went to see his father in this place, which hey, connections with the territory, not reference that people were saying at what the gods you know, in Wakan, like that other avatar who's got from big as it bus which connects each other. And as we are going through, we discovered that and she can't take their souls because of the weight of the whole thing, because it's not complete, meaning that they have to show each other the truth in order to balance. And then as we are digging deep, we see people, we see memories that explains a lot in this episode. Like of course the fight, they went to the door and shows a number of people who he killed, but of course that Kanchu said because they were thing. And the part that really was triggered was that the fact that we saw a child and like, bruh, that's really dark to a child, right? And as we're going through, you'll be like, okay, what happened? And in the process, he started showing memories, and memories that Mark himself he knew, but he didn't want to remember. Of course, that scene where we see him standing in the roadside by New York, yeah, you know, and then he showed a different meaning, something to like, okay, this is okay. Of course, we noticed that even as we are going through the episode, that Steve manages to like find his way in, and then he finds a memory of Mark, or Mark was trying to make sure he doesn't see it. It showed us on the dark trauma he had as a child. Like of course he tells his brother, no, let's go to the cave, and in the process in the cave, his brother dies. Then himself in the process, and the mother going into a lifetime of blaming him, you know, depression, and really hitting her heart, you know, to the point that she hated her own child. It created a deep meaning to that, and you're like, okay, you know, that the mother hated him so much that, you know, that of course Steve didn't want him to show him, and Mark didn't want to go back to show that something really happened. Of course the scales was still, you know, trying to align itself, but it was also showing that something is more. Then also as we were going through, we see how he was traumatized, how he would like to see what happened in the memory in the room, and to see that even as he's going back, he's switching back and forth with the doctor. No, it's like it felt like a subtle say that, like as if he was a doctor. I think it makes more sense that the why was in the asylum, because it probably showed him that the father took him as a child because of the depression he had. It wasn't his brother, I know. Then doctor saying, let him talk to other person, like tell him when he came, so that in order to be free, to know the truth. And as we watch through, we discover that he was beaten as a child. The mother still blamed him after the time, and it brought that sense of, you know, if the person wanted to attack him. And I think the part which everyone was so much shocked was at how Steve all along was just created. You know, I think it really think, but he didn't really. Okay, it's really short, simple. He was just a creative person, and everyone was like, okay, you know, from the show I used to watch his brother, and you're like, wow, that's really thing, you know. In the part when after she died, I don't know, he said that he won't give her the pleasure, even the time when he left her, and he said, I won't give her the pleasure of her being seeing her switching her for death or a thing. It was really dark, and I really have to applaud Oscar Isaac for his performance, because I felt that I felt that not like I was not being in a situation, I haven't been in that situation, but it was something so different and such an amazing drive that I have to really applaud the writers. Because honestly, I want to see more. And then of course I think it was more deeper than we thought, more deeper than explained. Even the scene now, it finally showed on what would happen to his father, to Leila's father. Sorry, anything. It went so deep that we end up finding out and say, wow. Like of course, showed that he was trying to escape, how he wanted to kill himself also, and then of course Kanju, which was his temple. Shame and what a waste, of course. Basically motivating him in the process, even if you said, okay, this guy was, this guy was taking him in the process. And hence accept the job of being his MoonKnight, which of course the title of the series, which is what gave him the suit and all, and that's what the deal made. Of course, like I said, it's really one thing, and of course in the process world she said that the souls, as they managed to see that part was ended and all, and then you see that souls were coming too much like before that time, hence, which means, is it possible that Hamlet is already been released, or she's already like happening outside, like something really happening while in the real world, that happening, and for the souls becoming quick. And then of course the part where she said that I forgot to mention that if your thing doesn't balance, which means the signs have to claim you, right? Which is like, oh, okay, this is thing. And then of course you know that they've balanced it, and of course we see the gates. I think they like went back to Earth. I guess you're transition or something. Brought in something saying, okay, this is really cool, and then of course silencing the people who he fought, he killed, and in the process while they're fighting, Steve tried to save him, and then he was grabbed and was thrown, and he was turned into, or joined the sand. The scale finally balanced. It felt like he finally let go of the creation that he made for Steve, But honestly, I don't lie, I'm really want to see what episode 5 has, and I want to say I'm really impressed with the writers and podcasters so far. I'll honestly give a full review after episode 6. I'll give my review, and then I'll give a full review on what I think of MoonKnight. Otherwise, as I say, take your time. I know it's a long thing, but like I said, I really have to dig it because there was so much to offer. And also, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and stay for video. Take your time. Peace out, and don't forget, theaters, Doctor Strange 2. Don't forget to watch 2, and also I was giving a movie and a review on the movie review and also a spoiler review. Alright, please leave a like, subscribe, and also peace out.